Good evening, my YouTube viewers. It is Crystal here. I'm here making this video, which is an addendum video to the previous video, which was lesson 7 of my free course, Intro to IT for Computer Users. And lesson 7 was the digital communication and collaboration. And so basically, in that lesson, I covered the information and I gave you some copy tips on how to write an email. And I gave you 2 emails. One email was to say thank you, and the second email was to apply for a job as a personal assistant. But with regard to digital collaboration, you need to be in an online meeting, and some software that you can use for online meetings is Zoom and Teams and Google Meet. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you a tour of Google Meet, and the reason for that is just to give you an idea of what you want to do if you want to have a meeting, which is called collaboration. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a tour of my personal Google Meet, and I'm going to take you about the depression expression online meeting and show you how you can get into that. Even though they're not having an online meeting tonight, but I can take you through the steps how to do it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our AVG browser, and I'm going to go directly into my Google Drive. And in a previous video, I gave you a tour of my Google Drive, so you should be familiar with the Google Drive already. But in the Google Drive, on the right-hand side, you have a little box with 9 dots on it. And that box with 9 dots on it, if you click onto that box, that's going to give you some Google applications. And so the Google application that you're going to want to use is Meet. But what I will say, if you are in Gmail, Google Mail, then in Google Mail, you're going to have a box with the 9 dots on it, and you can go into Meet there. So you can go into Meet either with Google Drive or Google Mail. Those are 2 applications that you can have a meeting with Google, a Google Meet. So we're going to click onto the video recorder, and that's going to take us into the Google Meet software. And so what I have the code for depression expression, so I'm just going to enter that. So that's the code for depression expression. So I type in that code, and then I click on to join. And then when you, oh, so obviously I've got the code wrong. Let's try this. Try this. So yeah, so now it's joining the meeting, but they don't have a meeting going on tonight, so they're not going to let me in. But you click on to, you say, I don't want to receive any notifications. Do you want to see and hear in your meeting? And then so allow microphone and camera. So we're going to allow the microphone and camera, and it says webcam guard blocked the site from using. So we're going to say allow, it says meet.google.com is requesting permission to access your webcam. I'm going to say allow once. And then so the camera is starting, and so I know I don't look very well in it. It's a really hot summer night. And then so you click on Ask to Join. And then when you click on Ask to Join, it's going to give you a message say, please wait until a meeting host brings you into the call, but they're not having a meeting. So you're never going to be asked to join, not tonight anyway. So I was just showing you how to do this, so you can do this on your own if you want. So we're just going to click the leave button, and then it says you've left the meeting, and it says return to home screen. So we're going to return to the home screen. So that's what you want to do if you want to join an existing meeting. So if you want to make a new meeting, then you click onto the new meeting, and then you go through the process that you need to go to actually click on to a new meeting. But I've never actually made a meeting myself. I've always just joined meetings. But if you want to make a new meeting, you can try it out, see what happens. So that's how you use Google Meet, and that's how you can have an online meeting. But I took you through the process of getting into an existing meeting, but since the meeting's not going on tonight, you're not going to be asked to join the meeting. So that's going to conclude this video, because I'm taking you on a tour of my personal Google Meet. So that this video is finished. The next video is going to be on lesson 8, which is going to be troubleshooting basics for users. So that's going to be the last lesson, and we're going to be covering troubleshooting. But what I would like to say is, in order for me to make this video, I had to do some troubleshooting, because this isn't the first video that I made. The first video I made, I couldn't get the camera to work, and I was messing around with the settings and everything trying to get the camera to work. And then I thought, well, this is pointless. I can't keep on this video if the camera is not working. And so basically, if you want to know what the problem was, on my keyboard, it's F10 on my keyboard is the key that turns the camera off, and somehow or other F10 got pressed, and because F10 got pressed, my camera wasn't working, and I had to figure that out before I could actually even make this video. And so I did a touch of troubleshooting just in order to make the video. And the thing is I don't use my camera on this video a lot, because for the longest time I couldn't get it to work, but I sort of figured out what the problem was. And yeah, I figured out what the problem was. The problem was actually the highlighting, the lighting on the video. I'll show you where it is, since we're talking about cameras, and you're going to need to have your camera connected in order to do a Google Meet. So we click onto our camera. And so you can see here, and before, for the longest time, I couldn't get it to work, and the reason why is because the brightness was down really low, and the brightness was so low that you couldn't see anything. And then for the longest time, my lens was askew, and because my lens was askew, I couldn't use my camera. But whenever I had to pay £30 to have my drivers reinstalled after Driver Booster uninstalled my drivers, he said that he fixed my camera for me, and so obviously he did fix my camera for me, so I can use my camera now. So this is the brightness of the camera. So that's the brightness of the camera, and that's something that you need to adjust when you want to make a video. And then on the keyboard, it's F10. If your camera doesn't work, you have to make sure the touch F10 and see if that will get your camera to work, because that's what happened. I was piddling around trying to figure out what the problem was, and the problem was F10 had been pressed, and that's why my camera didn't work. So just make sure that you've got F10 in the correct toggle to get your camera to work. So I'm going to go ahead and close off the camera now, and I'm going to close the video now because I've covered everything that I want to cover in this video. The next video is going to be lesson 8, troubleshooting, even though we did some troubleshooting in this video, but I had to do troubleshooting to get the video to work. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you decide to watch the video for lesson 8 as well. And thank you for watching.